Hello, how you doing, Jason?
Real good. So, what you been doing these days, Blaze Bayley?
Well, I've been in South America. I've been to Brazil, and I did 15 shows there in 18 days. That was crazy, because we flew everywhere. We just had guitars, and then we picked up the drums and the amps and cabs. We got the venues to get those in, and we went all over Brazil, and as well we went to Chile. And last time I was in Chile, I was in Iron Maiden, and some of the crowd was spitting. About 6 guys in the crowd were spitting, and anyway, we had to go at them, and we got them kicked out so we could carry on with the show. And this time when I was in Chile, it was a little show, just my band, and packed out, and the fans at the front tore off my shirt to reveal my incredible physique, obviously. and then we went to Peru.
Wow.
That was crazy too. The Iron Maiden fan club invited us to Peru, and we had a couple of great days there. And then we went back to Brazil and played some of our biggest headline shows. Now we're back in Europe for the second part of the European tour to go with the Promise and Terror album. We started on, I think, February the 6th in the UK. We've been round different parts of Europe. We've had a visit to Spain and France and a couple of gigs in Germany, and now we're going back to some of those countries, and we're also going up to Sweden and Finland, which we really like. And then we're going to Russia for 3 days, which is the longest drives of any part of the tour. We're going to St. Petersburg, then we're driving to Moscow and somewhere else, and then from there back to Poland and the Czech Republic. So it's absolute madness, man, what we're doing. And then after that, then we've got some festivals in the summer, and then we start again touring full-time in September, and we go through to December the 18th is our last show so far this year, unless somebody offers us a huge amount of cash.
Blaze, you're keeping really busy and occupied.
Well, we're doing our best, mate. We're doing our best. You know, all the time that I was in Maiden, I loved the amount of touring that we used to do, and I never really wanted to go home, you know, or have a break. I could have done with a couple of weeks off here and there, but that would have done me. And then with my own band, really, I never really had support from the management or the record company when I started the Blaze band, and we didn't really do much touring of any significance. And now I've got a new manager, and the album seems to be doing okay, and you know we've planned ahead, and it seems to be doing okay for us. So really, we're a live band, and we haven't got a big video. You know, there's hundreds of clips of us on YouTube, but we don't have a big professional, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars video, and we don't have a big record company or a bank behind us. We just do everything ourselves. So the old-fashioned way of promoting your music was to go out, play pubs and clubs wherever they are, and say, this is us and this is what we do, and these are the songs that we wrote, and if you like it, come and buy our CD. And that's what we're doing, and we're doing that in the UK and everywhere else in Europe, and we're doing it all over South America, and next year hopefully we're doing it in USA as well.
You're keeping busy, and that's great to see. You know, touring today compared, you know, to the days of Iron Maiden, has it changed much, let's say? Because, I mean, you're still always in a plane.
Well, in South America, it's in a plane. In Brazil, because the drives are so long there, you just can't do it. So we kind of changed the way we do things there, and we just have the back line in. In Europe, then we drive ourselves everywhere. You know, it's similar to the US in that way. You get your stuff in the van and you plan things out, and you drive between gigs. Some of the drives are long and some of them are short, and you know, you just do your best with it. But that's the way we do it. In Maiden, then sometimes in Europe, a lot of it was done by bus and a lot of driving, And then when you were going to like Japan, you'd fly to Japan and South America and stuff like that. So it's unusual the way we do things, but we're a small underground band really. We're just a cult band. A few people from Iron Maiden know us, and a few people are Bayley fans, and those people are absolutely fanatical, and they're brilliant. And now a few more people are learning about us. But in the global scheme of metal, then not many people know about the Bayley band. And when they come and see us, they're really surprised at what we're like.
It's about time they start pushing the Bayley, bringing them, up to scale, with the other bands.
Well, we'll just see. It's down to the fans. We think that really it's about the fans. If the fans like you, and they think you're good musicians, we think that as long as you go and play and show them, and in their own town or a city nearby, then, if you go and show them that you mean it, then you'll have success. I think a lot of bands could have a big album if they've got a huge promotion and they're on MTV and all the other things, but they might, is the next album any good?
Yeah.
Are they real? How much of it is on tape when you go and see them? How close can you get to them at the gig? When you come and see our band, then you can meet us at the gig. Every gig that we do, then I sign before or after the shows, and people bring their collections of, right back from the Wolfsbane days and Maiden and the new albums, and get them signed, and I can chat to them. And then the gigs are so small, most of them haven't got a security barrier, so you're right there in people's faces. And that's a really different way of doing things, that's going well back. And people see that, and they come and see us, and I think a lot of the fans that enjoy our concerts, they really find it refreshing. That, you're used to seeing a lot of big events and people in stadiums or arenas where the sound is a bit weird, or, it's difficult to get it right sometimes. And then you come and see us in a small place where it's really in your face, it's total intensity, and people, have a good feeling about it. And so far, the tour's doing well. Playing to more people on this tour than we did on the last one. We're playing more shows. We're going back to places we did on the last tour. So I'm hoping that's a sign that something's happening for us. And, if the reaction from the fans is anything to go by, a lot of people say that the new Promise and Terror album is great. So, and the songs are going down really, really well live. City of Bones, he's just going down brilliant live, and people are singing along and all of that. So that's a really, really great feeling.
Let's talk about Promise and Terror for a minute. How long did it take you to record this album and finish it?
It took about 6 weeks of total time. That was spread. Those 6 weeks were spread out here and there. The most important thing for us was the kind of pre-production writing time, where we've got some of the basic ideas, and then we all sat down together at my house. We put up the practice drum kit and just sat down at a really low volume, went through all of the ideas again and again and again until we felt comfortable. And the aim that we were looking for was, can we play these songs live? What will they be like live? And we want to be in a situation, before we record them, that we feel we could play these songs at a gig. And that's what we tried to stick to. So we took about, I think, maybe 3 weeks in that phase, sometimes just staring at each other, going, well, what should we do next? And other times going, why don't we do this? Let's do that. Doesn't this sound brilliant? Aren't we the best band ever? And then we went to rehearsals, and we got into our rehearsal room, and then, everything got cranked up, and it's loud, and the riffs really start to come to life, and then other bits really start to sound boring. So we rearranged a lot of things again. Some things we just got right, and it was like, oh, what a great job we've done there. And other things it was gone, oh, actually I'm bored to death playing this. Can we change it round a bit? And we did that, and then we rehearsed everything in the order that we thought we might like to have it on the album. So we rehearsed it like a set list, like we would do for our live shows. And then we went and did 5 days recording of drums in a studio in Birmingham. And then everything else we did at home. Jace Edwards has got his own studio and a full Pro Tools setup and mics and everything. And he bought that round, set it up in my house, and we recorded all guitars, bass and vocals. All that was done at home. And the mixing and mastering as well. We did all that. So it was quite a comfortable environment. We never felt too pushed, and we really tried to say to ourselves, come on, what have we got today? And, you know, what have we got to finish today? And we managed to do it. Of course, everything ends up being last minute. You know, the artwork wasn't ready on time. I mean, we didn't have time to finish the final mix or this, so we just had to, somehow, we managed to find enough time just to do it, enough money just to do that. We managed to get it out on the day that we originally said it would come out on. And that was a fantastic feeling, you know, to have it out on that day. And then the tour started like 4 days later, and we've been going ever since. So we're really pleased, you know, the way that the album has turned out. I wasn't very confident in this album compared to the last album, The Man Who Would Not Die, because I don't think I'd lived with it as long. And some of the subjects on it as well are really different. You know, the last 4 songs, they fit together musically and lyrically. And really, it's a story, and it's a personal story of mine. And I wasn't sure what to do, but when we were putting the music and the lyrics together, it just felt right. So we all thought, well, if it feels good, then we should do it. Maybe this is the time to tell that story. So we did, and everybody really likes it. You know, fans that have got Man Who Would Not Die and the previous Blaze albums, a lot of them are saying it's my best work. So that's a really great feeling. You know, it's given us a lot of confidence, and we're playing a lot of songs from the new album on the tour.
Now, Blaze, when you look at a set list, you know, to do a concert, how do you find your songs, and do you rotate them sometimes?
Yeah, depends where we're playing. In South America, then we didn't rotate things much because the distances between the cities were so big that people weren't coming to more than one show, but there was only a couple of lads who came to 2 shows. In Europe, then things are a bit closer together, so some people will come to 2 and 3 and 4 shows. So what we try and do is we rotate some of the songs in the set, and we're always trying to have one that we're learning, and we sound check with that. And then when we think it's ready, we put it in the set, and we drop something out that we've been putting in. So if we're playing somewhere close, then we'll go, well, if it's less than a 2-hour drive, right, we'll change those 2 songs and put these 2 songs in. And maybe we do less Maiden songs in Europe because my own band is more known, so we'll go, well, we'll do these 2 Maiden songs or those 2 Maiden songs, you know, from my era of Iron Maiden. And we'll do, well, maybe this song from my first album or that song from the first album. And we try and do that. Generally speaking, we try and keep all of the songs from the new album in the set. And we don't change the start of the set because that's a big confidence builder. When you're in different places and using different equipment every time, having those first 3 songs the same is a real way to build your confidence, because even if it sounds crap, at least you know what you're doing. And then you can kind of deal with the rest of the stuff. So we generally change it after that and further down the set. And sometimes we just play everything we know. And if we think, oh, well, we can get away with it and there's no curfew and my voice is okay, and we go, yeah, well, why don't we just play everything and we'll play for 2 hours.
Can I ask you an Iron Maiden question here?
Yeah, if you like. It's a piece of torture equipment.
First rehearsal with Iron Maiden, you ever recall that?
Yeah, it was very nerve-wracking. You know, you don't know what to do. You knew. Got really loud PA. So, yeah, really weird. And of course, bands are different. You know, when you put people together, it's like a team, isn't it? Everybody has the team actually has a personality, not just the individuals in it, because they have a way of doing things. So that was really weird, and not unpleasant, but just weird because I'd been in Wolfsbane and we had our way of doing things, and the way that Maiden did things was radically different. Even though it's still a rehearsal and you're still running through the songs, you know, it's a lot more business-like and a lot less wasted time and chatting and a lot more, right, let's play the songs, let's get it right, let's make... And you know, those early days, you really got the insight into, well, this is why they're at the top. And that's what it takes to be at the top and stay there, to have this kind of discipline and dedication, and for it to be all about the music and making sure that you're absolutely 100% when you get out there live. And this is how you do it, by having good habits in rehearsals. And a lot of the things that I used to do in rehearsals with Iron Maiden, then I do with my own band now as well.
Do you remember your first show with Iron Maiden?
Yeah, it was in Israel. And it was a club, and there was a hole in the dressing room floor, and it wasn't even fenced off or anything, where they just hadn't finished the dressing room, and it was upstairs, and you could just walk and fall through that hole if you wanted to, and there was no proper lighting in the dressing room, so it was a real small place, and I didn't know if there was any headbangers in Israel, but it was great to be singing Number of the Beast, you know, in the Holy Land.
What's your favourite, you know, let's say, pre-Blaze Bayley Iron Maiden album that you heard in the past?
It's really difficult to say, because I think Seventh Son is one that I'll turn on to listen to a couple of songs and then just end up leaving it on. It's got so many great songs on it. I don't particularly like some of the sounds on there, but all the songs I think are absolutely great on that album, and I never stop listening to it. And of course, Number of the Beast is the ultimate, you know, classic. So those two really, before X Factor and Virtual Eleven, and I think Brave New World, I suppose, since then, that's my favourite of the ones they've done since. But I think they've all been good. You know, it's Maiden. I think they've done a great job, and they've done the right thing by getting in a different producer and, you know, recording in different places. I think that's all been a real benefit creatively, and I think they've done some really interesting things.
Now, Blaze, you know, you're always on tour. Do you have time off sometimes?
Yeah, we do occasionally. We've got some weeks off. We've got in August, and there's some days off in July where we don't have so many gigs either. And if I'm at home, then I like to have sex with my girlfriend and ride my mountain bike or go out on my motorcycle. If I've got days off on the road, then I'll try and find a motorcycle shop to look at, or just normally we're exhausted, you know, and I pretend that I'm completely wasted, you know, on booze and drugs, where actually I'm just asleep in my room and probably having milk and cookies.
Unreleased tracks, do you have any stuff that, you know, never been released yet and just waiting to surface?
No, we don't, because basically I keep things so tight with the time and everything. When we go into the studio, we haven't had any of the luxuries that I've had in the past to go, right, we've got a couple of extra days here, why don't we do a couple of covers of this, that and the other. We always map it out, so the exact amount of time we've got, that's what we do, and all of those songs are going to go on the album, because we've already decided that, because they're rehearsed and ready, and we're going to play them. But one song that hasn't had a general release is one that we did on for our live DVD called The Night That Will Not Die, and we did one particular song on that, which was just for the bonus DVD called Endless Sleep, and that hasn't had a general release, and we're not planning to release it anywhere else. It's a 1,000 limited edition, the first run was, and 500 of those were special numbered copies, and they had that song on them, and nobody else has got that song. But that's the way we try and do things, really. We try and keep our integrity intact and say, right, if we say it's exclusive to that, then we really mean it. And so if we say this song has got this track is different and you won't hear it anywhere else, and because you're buying this album, you're going to be the only people that get this, we really try and stick to that as much as we can, because all of us in the band, then we're all fans, and we all hate that thing of putting odd tracks on albums, and it's the one song you haven't got, so you've got to buy the whole album for it, but you've already got the rest of the songs. So we try and steer clear of that. At the moment, obviously, as we run short of cash and beer, then we'll probably start doing it.
BlazeBayley.net, is this mostly where we can find your album?
Yeah, all the albums that are on the Blaze Bayley label are on there, and I've got the rights back to my catalogue as well now. So I'll be re-releasing all of the Blaze albums, my first stuff, on there as well. But if you go to blazebayley.net, we've got a shop, so you can get all the latest releases and merchandise and stuff. And it's got the up-to-the-minute story on the tour dates, you know, exactly what's happening, what's confirmed, what's cancelled, what's postponed, what we're doing. And from that you can work out where we are and if we need to do any laundry.
Awesome, Blaze. Well, you're a great man. Talk to you again another time, and hope you have a great tour.
Okay, well, thank you very much for phoning, and I'd just like to say a huge thank you to all the fans who believed in me and given me their support, and we hope to see you on the Promising Terror World Tour.
All right, Blaze. You have a good night.
All right, cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers, bye.